Ringer.
And I would call on the government to stop playing politics with small business. 97.3% of businesses in Australia are made up of small businesses, and they are hurting. I moved amendments when this bill was first before this place in relation to extending the scale of the asset write-off and the time frame for it to go for another year. The government dug its heels in, and I should say the opposition voted against it. So you're all very happy to play politics, but the people that are hurting on the ground actually need this to happen. So what happens in practice is this legislation is stalled. Of course, the government at budget time, and it was back in the budget 2023, made the big announcement that there was going to be this asset write-off. Businesses, small businesses, think they can count on that. They make provisions. And then nothing happens. The legislation doesn't pass either house, and then they are left in a situation of not being able to do the measure that they are promised by the government on budget night. What we saw last week with the budget for this year was again the announcement, but again the digging in of the heels by the minister and by the government of insisting on this lower asset write-off. The reality is you do not have a majority in both places, and the majority in the other place has told you loud and clear, has insisted on returning this bill with an amended asset write-off to the $30,000. So the question on the government now is, are you going to continue to play politics, risk all small businesses? We know that some 43% of small businesses aren't profitable at the moment, and they're continuing to face ongoing storm of cost increases and regulatory complexity. So you have a question before you for the government. It is in your hands now. Get on the side of small business and embrace these amendments. The will of the other place has been clear. The majority in that place has asked you to reconsider and to amend this provision to ensure it is of a sufficient scale that small businesses actually can take advantage of it. And the uncertainty is incredibly damaging. How can small business owners have confidence in the government if they can't even know when something is going to come into effect, what the scale is going to be, and it takes so long? As it is, with the discussion in this place, so many small business owners wouldn't even know what's happening. There isn't even a way of making sure that they are informed. So rather than playing politics, being obstinate, sticking to this to send it back to the other place where it's been clear it will not pass in its current form, I call on the government to recognise the need of small businesses to have access to this measure and accept the amendments that the majority have asked the government to accept, and ensure it passes amended. The amendment to $30,000 is incredibly important. This is an asset write-off around an energy incentive bonus. What it does is it will help businesses make meaningful investments to ensure they do increase their productivity, their sustainability, their efficiencies. And so for the government, the question is, are you going to stand up for small businesses, or is it just tokenistic on budget night that you make an announcement and there's nothing that comes with it? And for the opposition, the same goes. You voted against it when it came here before, then it goes and gets amended in the other place, and now it comes back. I note it was part of the budget in response speech, but yet here we are. It's a promise for the future in an election. Small businesses need you all to stop playing politics and actually get on with the job of helping them. Pass this legislation amended rather than sending it back to another place where it will again be stalled. There's always a lot of talk from all the major parties around being on the side of small business, but now's your chance to show it. Vote for this amended legislation.